take a look at my passive skill tree, my gear and the gems I'm using. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. So let's get started by my passive skill tree. I am a duelist. I went for the physical damage in the beginning and I have this first attack speed note here. And I went for the armor and elevation. I went down for Master of the Arena, Bravery and Art of the Gladiator. Also went for Debris. I have a Yule here, increases my physical damage and my attack speed. I also have Golem's Blood. I have Cloak and Chain. And I have both Armor Dexterity and Blade Barrier. I also have Iron Reflexes. Then I went up here. If you want more life early in the game, you can go up here, take the big life wheel here. I also have Berserking, Durality. Also went up here, take another Yule socket here, and went all the way up here to take these nice block notes here. I also went for Bloodless. I have Unraveling Stance. I have Lots for Carnage, which are my main way to get back life, these notes here. I have Jaggernaut. I have another Yule socket here, the same thing as the two others. Attack speed, physical damage, weapon damage, all of that, melee damage. I went for the damage way here. I went for Born to Fight, Heart of the Warrior, and Armor Mastery. If you have a problem with your resistance, you can always take Diamond Skin to help out. And I have, as I said, Warrior's Blood, and I also have these life notes and armor notes here, and some nice life glitch. I also went up here for the Barbarism to get Resolute Technique. This is pretty much my normal skill tree, and I'm really happy with it. I'm a really tanky character and do good damage. And for my Ascendancy skill tree, I ascended to a Gladiator, and I went for Painforged, Violent Versatile Combatant, and Violent Retaliation. And I also went for Gladiator's Violence to get the enemy to bleed, and I do more damage against bleeding enemies, which helps out against bosses, and enemies explode when they are bleeding, so they do more damage to groups of enemies with the powerful enemies in the middle. And I'm really happy with this skill tree, and I'm going to have a link in the description to where you can find this skill tree for yourself. So let's take a look at the gear. So let's take a look at my items. I'm going to start with my weapons. I'm using this sword here. Try to get a sword with high attack speed and as high as you can get physical damage. And my other weapon, I'm using Soul Taker, and this is a weapon that makes that I can use my Blade Flurry without any mana cost. You can see I have 0 mana. I have reserved all of my manas in auras, like these ones here. And this weapon enables me to use attacks without any mana. It's not that expensive anymore, but it costs a little bit. And if you don't have this weapon, you can use a gem called Blood Magic. And you can see Blood Magic on screen right now, and that makes you can use your life instead of mana. But this weapon is what enables me to use my melee attacks without any mana. For a helmet, I'm using Bring of Rain to get increased block chance, a really good amount of life, flat physical damage, good armor and evasion, and most importantly, it's basically a 7-lead item, so it gives me melee physical damage, faster attacks, and blind. I really recommend this helmet. The newer version of this helmet is a really good one, a legacy one. But the new version of the helmet are a little bit nerfed, but they're still a really powerful helmet. I really recommend them. But you can use a rare helmet and a really normal rare chest instead with life and resistance, and the same thing on your helmet. For rings and amulets, just get life and the resistance you might need. And if you can, try to get some flat physical damage. For gloves, same thing here. Try to get the flat physical damage if you can, attack speed, armor, and as high life and the resistance you might need. With boots, try to get again armor, life, the resistance you need, and if you can, try to get some movement speed as well. For a belt, I'm using Magladoros Girdle, I think I pronounced that wrong, but I'm basically using this belt for the flat physical damage, to have decent life and some resistance. You can use a rare belt instead if you don't have this one, and preferably a rustic stash, you get some damage. And try to get some life and resistance, and if you can, some armor on it as well. For flasks, I'm using Atziri's Promise, and then I'm using a Eternal Flask with Remove Bleeding. And I have a Taste of Hate. You don't need Taste of Hate for this build. You can use Just a normal, either another Eternal Flask, or you can use a Basalt Flask for some physical protection. And I have this flask here, again, a really decent flask, increases my armor when I'm using it. So that's pretty much my gear. If you have any questions about my gear, or if I missed something, please let me know. And by the way, before I forget it, this armor here is ignored because of a Bringer of Rain. When you have Bringer of Rain, you can't use a chest armor, but you can still level up gems in your chest armor. So keep that in mind. So let's take a look at my skill gems. For Blade Flurry are supported by Fortify, added fire damage, and weapon element damage. And then from my helmet I gain melee physical damage, faster attacks, and blind. So it's basically a 7-linked setup if you have it in Bringer of Rain, and I highly recommend Bringer of Rain. If you only have a 5-linked armor, I recommend using Blade Flurry, Fortify, added fire damage, faster attacks, and melee physical damage. The Auras and Mana Reserve I'm using are using Hatred, Arctic Armor, and Herald of Ash. And finally, for the Bandits, I helped and killed. In normal, I helped Orc to get the 40% base life. In Cruel, you can either help Oak or Krating for 16% physical damage or attack speed. And in Merciless, I just killed all of them and took the passive skill point. I thank you all for watching my build guide, and again, if you have any questions about the build or if I missed something, please let me know. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I hope you like this build.